Matt Rhule just spoke with the media for the first time ever since the Penn State coaching rumors began, and man, oh man, he had a lot to say. And Husker fans, they were not happy with his response, so I'm going to give you my instant reaction because he revealed a lot. Whether you like it or not, he dropped a lot of clues about whether or not he will stay at Nebraska or if he will leave to Penn State. You have to look in between the lines. We'll talk about everything and so much more, along with a bunch of other news that has been released over these past couple hours. A key Nebraska defender is being redshirted this season. This came out of nowhere. This was a complete surprise. I'll give you my reaction. We are officially wearing alternate uniforms versus Minnesota. We'll talk about what those are looking like. My reaction to all the pro football focus grades, a lot of recruiting news that has dropped over these past couple of days, and so much more. So really quick, this is a loaded video. We have a lot to talk about. But hey, if you're having a good Monday, because I know I am, hit that like button. And also, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? This channel has been blowing up recently, talking all this breaking news, daily content. If you're not subscribed, be a part of the best family in Husker YouTube. It's no brainer. Takes 2 seconds. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's address the elephant in the room. Matt Rhule spoke with the media for the first time today ever since the Penn State rumors began yesterday, and he was asked about it right at the very bat. Matt Rhule, what do you think about the Penn State vacancy? Are you interested in that job? Is it true you have a legit connection with the athletic director of the Nittany Lions? And I told you guys yesterday, he was either going to approach this question one of two ways. Number one, he's going to give the standard politician answer saying, I love Nebraska, I love this program, but at the exact same time, I also love Penn State, and that's home. Or he could have gave the second option and said, while I love Penn State and I will always love that program with my whole heart, I'm committed to Nebraska and I'm shutting things down. I will stay at Nebraska, no question about it. So he had two options going to this press conference. And unfortunately, he gave us the first option. It was the politician type of answer. You know, he closed the door a little bit, right? He committed himself to Nebraska, but he left the door ajar, right? There is still a chance he could potentially leave to Penn State. However, he dropped a lot of nuggets that were revealed. The truth, we'll talk about that as the video progresses. But again, he started off saying that, again, the rumors are true that he has a great relationship with Pat Kraft. That, of course, they had a great bond when he was at Temple. He said that Penn State will always be home. He said that Julie, his wife, decides where they live. And while Julie loves Nebraska and she loves the life she's living here, she has a lot of connections to Pennsylvania as well. And again, her family's there. She grew up around that area. So if there's any place Julie would want to leave to, it probably would be Pennsylvania. So again, it's everything we talked about. Matt Rhule did not deny what we talked about on the channel yesterday and earlier today. He has a lot of connections to Penn State, and that's why it is an intriguing job for him. But at the exact same time, he talked about why he loves Nebraska. Now, he didn't, again, solidify that he was going to stay here forever. He said that he's not going to talk about his contract. He's not going to talk about, head coaching vacancies at length because there's a lot of things that can happen. But he said that he loves Nebraska. There's a reason why he took this job. He loves the culture. He loves the fan base. He loves living here. And he truly wants to make this place a beast. Okay. So that's really all he said about Nebraska. He kept asking, people kept asking him questions about it, kept trying to poke the bear a little bit. He got annoyed with the questions pretty quickly. You could tell from his body language, like he was kind of mad about it, right? I would say he was a little bit nervous about the questions. He looked uncomfortable, but right off the very bat, again, he was kind of dodging the questions a little bit. Like he was beating around the bush. He really wasn't giving us what we were looking for. And he really never did throughout the entire press conference. He never again fully addressed whether or not he was going to stay at Nebraska going forward. So again, there's a lot of reasons to be concerned. I understand the people who are kind of freaking out saying, oh, Matt Rhule, maybe he is in talks with Penn State, because again, he didn't give us a direct answer. But honestly, you have to look in between the lines, because after that press conference, it gave me a lot of not only hope, but it gave me confidence that Matt Rhule will stay at Nebraska. And I know a lot of you guys are asking, how could you even think that? Because Matt Rhule did not give us a direct answer. He confirmed that he does have interest in Penn State. He confirmed that he does have a lot of ties to Penn State. Okay, he looked nervous. He looked uncomfortable. So I'm sure people ask me, Wilson, how are you confident now that Matt Rhule's going to stay at Nebraska? Well, it's the things we've already talked about. Okay, it is confirmed. He didn't reveal this today, but it is confirmed that he talked with the team yesterday and told the team that he's not interested in the Penn State job and he's staying at Nebraska. So that's on the DL, right? He didn't reveal that in the press conference, but that's what happened. He talked to the team, talked to the coaching staff. So he's internally told the team that he's going to stay. And also, here's what's really happening. Here's the silver lining. All of what you saw earlier today was leverage. That's all it was. Okay, he's using this opportunity to get more money for himself, which he should, right? He's doing a good job here. He should get paid. And he's also using this as leverage to get the team more money, to get more NIL. Because suddenly, if boosters start to see the headline that, oh, Matt Rhule might leave for Penn State, the boosters start to get involved and say, no, we got to keep this guy here. So not only we're going to give him a fat extension, but we're going to start paying a lot of money in the transfer portal, paying a lot of money in recruiting. We're going to fix this 26 class. We're going to fix this 27 class. When December rolls around, we're going to get a big time, offensive lineman, big time defensive lineman to make sure Matt Rhule stays here. So that's what it is. This is all leverage. Matt Rhule wants to be here. Okay, again, he hinted at that. He said that, again, he loves Nebraska, doesn't want to leave here, has a great house. Again, he has a mansion very close to Lincoln. His kids go to school here. Again, Julie loves it here. She has a business here. And although, again, all the connections are true, he said in the past that going back to an alma mater to coach isn't necessarily the best choice a lot of the time. And here's one quote I'll leave you with that you should ponder before we get to our next segment. This really told me everything. This was the quote at the press conference, and nobody's talking about this. He said, in a world of $30 and $40 million rosters, which isn't going away, I like us to do the same thing. That's sort of like, hey, that's not the Nebraska way, and I like it to be. I like that to be the Nebraska way. I like to invest in our team. I like to be in front of everything. That was the quote of the day. That tells you that this is all leverage, because right now we do not have a $40 million roster. Again, our roster has money in it. It's probably $20 million around there, but it's not like these upper echelon squads. That's why we can't compete with the Oregons of the world just yet, the Ohio States, the Texas Techs, because they got money. And while our money's good, it's not great. What we've talked about all offseason long. So once again, this is all leverage. So don't freak out. He was a politician today, but again, he's not going to go out and give all his cards to us and say, oh, I'm staying in Nebraska, because that's not going to get him an extension. That's not going to get us more NIL money. If he draws us out a little bit longer, it's going to be a good thing for us going forward. So again, there's always a silver lining. And also we talked about how, listen, this is a good thing for Nebraska because it's good that our coaches are wanted. Not too many times in the past have we had coaches who are wanted by other programs. Scott Frost, when he was here, he was one of the worst coaches in America. Nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted Mike Riley when he was here. We've never had a coach get poached before. So that tells you we're doing something right when other programs around the country are trying to poach our guys. It means we're on an upward trajectory. So there is a silver lining with all this. But again, if you look in between lines, if you look at the clues, I believe I'm a lot more confident that Matt Rhule will stay now more than ever. All right, that was the press conference from today. Now let's get to all the news. Some more news dropped in the press conference unrelated to the Penn State rumors, the Pro Football Focus grades, all the recruiting news. Again, this is a loaded video, a lot of information. I want to get things started with a player who Matt Rhule announced today will be redshirted for the rest of the season. You will not see him play in another game. This is a key player. This is a big-time recruit. Willis McGahee is officially redshirted by the Huskers. He played in the first 4 games this season. Really wasn't playing too much because of Deshaun McCullough, because of Vincent Shavers taking his role. A couple other players, Dylan Rogers, has been playing good snaps along with Dawson Merritt. So they're redshirting Willis McGahee effective immediately. He's already played in 4 games. He did not travel to Maryland. So again, it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? The good news is that Willis is going to continue to develop and he's going to likely start at Jack next year. The bad thing is that he could potentially transfer because of this, right? Because some players feel some sort of type of way about getting redshirt, right? It's kind of it's a blow to the chest. It's a blow to the heart. Okay, when you work all offseason long to be a key player on this defense and to say, hey, you're not playing anymore, right? He could feel some sort of way about that. And it's been noted around Willis McGahee that he hasn't been necessarily too thrilled with his role as of recent. He hasn't been too thrilled of being in Nebraska. He's questioning whether or not this is truly the place for him. So I'm a little bit worried he might enter the portal, right? And we should always be worried about that because we know that's the sport nowadays. But overall, if he were to stay at Nebraska, which I think if the money talks, if we continue to kind of pay him like we should, he should stay here next year and should be a key player on defense in 2026. So let me know your thoughts around Willis McGahee, because I think that's a big blow, really, because he's somebody who I compare him a lot to Prince Wah-Mamie-Allen, where when Prince Wah was here, he never played as much as he should have. But whenever he got snaps, he made plays. Willis is the exact same way. He doesn't get nearly enough snaps as he should, but again, he had multiple sacks last year, or he had a sack, he had a forced fumble in there that won us the game both versus Colorado and Wisconsin. He's a game changer, so we need him here in the foreseeable future. Then it was revealed officially today, something that I told you guys 4 months ago. I told you guys, in July and June that this was going to happen. Nebraska, it will officially be wearing alternate uniforms versus Minnesota. We're bringing back the icy whites. We're bringing back the all whites versus the golden gophers. Man, I'm a big fan of this. I know people are going to say, oh, this uniform's cursed. We always lose in it. Well, that's not necessarily true. Yes, we lost versus Indiana wearing this uniform, but we forget that we won wearing the all whites multiple times in the Bo Pelini era. We won when we wore the icy whites versus Northwestern, when we wore that alternate uniform. We won when we wore the all whites versus Buffalo a couple years ago. So we've actually had a lot of success in the all whites. And again, in my opinion, they look really, really clean. So again, we revealed this on the channel 4 months ago. We went 3 for 3. I told you guys about the black uniforms, the all reds, and the all whites. And it's good for recruiting as well. The recruits love the all white. So good news there around those coming back. And then really quickly, I want to share something that I thought was interesting that Matt Rhule revealed. He said that versus Maryland, when we went into halftime, we were only up, 7 points at that point in time. Barney had a great halftime speech. It wasn't Matt Rhule who gave the halftime speech. It was Jacory Barney. He got the troops fired up. He got the troops ready to go for the fourth quarter. And that's primarily why we won that football game, because of leaders inside the locker room not named Matt Rhule. So usually you'd expect that from a guy like Dylan Raiola, a Marcus Buford, a Deshaun Singleton, right? A Marcus Watson Trent, some of the big leaders on this team. But that tells me a lot. Jacory Barney went from the team and gave him a halftime speech. Okay, that tells me that Jacory Barney is developing himself as a leader and as a guy who really is the guy on and off the field for Nebraska. Okay, that's huge around Jacory. So I just think we need to really buy stock on him because, again, it's one thing to be a great player on Saturdays, but you need to be a great individual off the field in order to be a productive player at Nebraska, right? To be somebody that these people need to look up to. So Jacory Barney, he's went a long way from since he was a freshman. He's doing everything right. So I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, let's gloss over the Pro Football Focus grades from the Maryland ball game. Again, offense is pretty much everything you expect. Dylan actually graded out pretty well. Emmett graded out as one of the best running backs in America, had a grade of 83. Offensive line did not grade out very well. Elijah Pritchett, guess who, had the worst grade on this entire offensive line. Gunnar Gatula also graded out pretty bad. He gave up 3 total pressures on the day, according to Pro Football Focus. Justin Evans graded out the best. He had a grade of a 71. Turner Corcoran actually graded out pretty well when he got some reps when they took Elijah Pritchett out of the ball game. So, hey, man, Turner Corcoran, there might be a legit battle there at left tackle going forward because Corcoran, I'm telling you guys, when he's in the ball game, he plays some good snaps. Other than that, defense graded out pretty well, too. A lot of bad tackling grades. Like Williams Nwaneri graded out very well. But, yeah, I think he had a tackling grade of like 20, which is absolutely terrible. So, really, again, defense graded well, but all the tackling grades were really bad. And that's primarily why Maryland was in the ball game. All right, getting to some other news that we need to talk about. Talking about Williams Nwaneri, he led the Big Ten in 8 quarterback pressures versus Maryland. Now, this is actually back-to-back weeks that he's done this. Versus Michigan State, he had 6 total pressures. So back-to-back weeks, he leads this conference in pressures. Again, he's having a phenomenal year. Now, I know the stats don't necessarily reflect that. He only has half a sack this season. He did not have a sack versus the Terrapins. But again, it's not because of a lack of pressures, right? It's mostly because of 2 reasons. Number one, Nwaneri has struggled with the tackling, right? He struggled with the pursuit angles, and that's going to get better, trust me. And the second reason why the sacks don't necessarily reflect the pressures are that we're going up against mobile quarterbacks. So yes, he might get inside the pocket, but we went up against Aiden Childs, who's one of the, again, shiftiest quarterbacks in America. We just went up against Malik Washington, who can run, Bryce Underwood, who can run, Brandon Sorsby, who can run. So while Williams Nwaneri is getting the pressures, at times these quarterbacks are escaping the pocket and evading him for a little bit. So Nwaneri, again, those sacks will come, but I think we just need to give him a lot more respect because he literally has been our best defensive lineman this year. And I don't even think it's particularly close. It's not close at all. Nwaneri is playing really, really well. So definitely give him his flowers. Then I want to share this with you. Wayman Jordan, USC's best running back, will be out 4 to 6 weeks. Of course, we play USC in 3 weeks. So again, this is a huge development for us. Again, USC is a great offense, got one of the best quarterbacks in America. In Jaden Maiava, they have one of the best wide receivers in America, Mekhi Lemon. They have a stud running back in Wayman Jordan, and he's going to be out. So again, that's huge for us. This guy, I think he averaged around 7 or 8 yards a carry. He's a stud, man. He's a stud. He's a Big Ten transfer. So huge for us. It's going to be better in order for us to beat him. It's still going to be a tough game, but again, one of their best players will be out when we play them in Lincoln in just about 3 weeks. I also want to share this with you. This was posted by Robin Washut. I butchered that last time. Oh my goodness. At On3. Nebraska is projected right now to play in the Citrus Bowl versus Texas. Woo! I'm telling you guys, I think we're going to play an old Big 12 foe. It's either going to be Missouri, Oklahoma, or Texas at this rate in a bowl game because I've seen a lot of those 3. Let me know your thoughts on that, though. That'd be fun. That would definitely be fun to play Texas. I wouldn't mind playing Oklahoma, though. I probably want Oklahoma a little bit more. All right, and let's end off the video with some recruiting news because there's a lot of it. We'll stick with only the Penn State news because, as we like to talk about, when a coach gets fired, there's a bunch of recruiting implications, right? Particularly with these decommits, with these 5 stars. In Penn State, they have a lot of big-time prospects. Now, Kamon Spell, who is the #1 running back in the class of 27, according to every single recruiting site, Nebraska just offered him yesterday. This is what I told you guys. Matt Rhule was on the phone with him. Matt Rhule was recruiting last night after all this news dropped. So, again, if you're questioning Matt Rhule and whether or not he's going to be here going forward, just know that he was recruiting last night. And he was on the phone with multiple commits saying he's staying. So, again, Kamon Spell was offered by Nebraska. There was also an article written by On3 that says he's very interested in the Cornhuskers, that he might be visiting us very soon. So just watch out for this name. And also Trey Taylor, been starting to peer recruit him as well. But Nebraska getting involved in the Pennsylvania prospect who just decommitted from the Nittany Lions. Then Khalil Taylor, who we talked about last week on the channel, again, decommitted from Penn State. He's a top 100 prospect in the class of 27, wide receiver, very shifty, very fast. He's officially going to be visiting Nebraska, I believe, for the Iowa game. So again, he'll be in town. Another guy that we need to pencil down because, man, again, he fast. You guys want speed? You guys want a Jacory Barney 2.0, who's also physical, who's also coming out of Pittsburgh, so you know he's tough? Yeah, get yourself a Khalil Taylor, but again, he will be visiting Nebraska, and we're doing some good work behind the scenes there. Tavion Branch, who is a Penn State commit, just announced a couple minutes ago that he will be visiting Nebraska very soon. I believe it's either going to be for the Northwestern game or the USC game. Again, he's in the class of 26, so if you guys want a defensive line commit, this could be your guy here. Tavion Branch, always coming out of Pennsylvania. Again, very tough. He reminds me a little bit of a Cameron Lenhard, right? Probably a little bit better version of Cameron Lenhard, but somebody could play both 3-tech and potentially nose tackle. But that's some good news. You guys want a defensive line commit? You might get one here in Tavion Branch. Gabe Jenkins, another guy I would have my eyes out for, decommitted from Penn State the other day. Of course, when the news dropped, Nebraska was heavily involved here in the class of 27, so another guy who probably will be visiting Nebraska very soon. Other than that, looking at the 26 class for Penn State, guys we can poach. I mean, Matt Sieg is a borderline elite prospect. He announced that his recruitment's back open. While he's not decommitting, he might be taking visits, so we might go after him. I'm primarily looking at like defensive linemen, though. Most of the defensive linemen have already decommitted. Like, I wouldn't mind this guy here. I'm going to butcher this last time, so I'm never going to say it. But wouldn't mind him. Yeah, they got a couple of decent defensive linemen, right? Alexander Haskell, I remember that name. So just watch out for these decommits, though, because Nebraska's going to get involved. Nebraska will definitely get involved in a lot of these, particularly on the D line. So again, we'll keep you guys posted on all the recruiting news. I'll have a big recruiting update probably come out Wednesday, because again, there's a lot more recruiting news that we didn't talk about in this video, but I just want to talk about the Penn State decommits real quickly. So again, we'll have a big recruiting update probably Wednesday on the channel. We'll have a preview for Minnesota come out tomorrow morning. So that'll be a big one for sure. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below about everything. Hey, if you made this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate all the support recently, everybody. Go over, Greg, go Rhule, and see you in the next one.